Hello. Uh, Thank you all for joining us, and welcome to tonight's formal meeting of the Salt Lake City Council. If you've joined us over the past few weeks, you've seen that we've been holding all of our meetings remotely due to the declarations of emergency. We are happy to have you joining us and either connecting by phone or internet. To begin, we'd like to take a moment of silence as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. When we're done, we will turn the audio for our meeting back on. So we will project a flag and the Pledge of Allegiance, but you'll just say it to yourself at home. And then we'll come back to the screen for the meeting. Okay. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody. Although we are conducting our meetings electronically, this is, and it's different from our in-person meetings, excuse me, we will still have a few city council meeting guidelines to make sure that people feel comfortable and safe to participate. To help facilitate our comment period, please be respectful. Avoid yelling, making racial slurs, obscene or defamatory remarks. As we begin tonight's formal meeting, I would like to highlight that in addition to our business tonight as the City Council, we are going to have one business item in our role as the local building authority. I want to make that distinction for the public's understanding and to ensure that we have a clear record. As the city's elected officials, council members don't just serve on the City Council, but we also serve as the local building authority board. Think of it as a council wearing two different hats. We are beginning with the business of the City Council, and then we will change hats or move to the local building authority business item at the very end of the consent section of the agenda. So we are now at item A4, which is approval of meeting minutes for the work session meeting of Tuesday, March 17th, 2020, and Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, as well as formal meeting minutes for Tuesday, March 24th, 2020. I will look for a motion.
Mr. Chair, so moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Johnston and a second from Councilmember Rogers. Is there any discussion to this item? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and roll call it. Councilmember Rogers,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros,
Yes.
Councilmember Mono,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fowler,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. So that passes unanimously. Okay, we're now to part B of our agenda, which is the public hearings portion. As I mentioned earlier, the standard order of the formal meeting agenda has been adjusted to accommodate our electronic meetings. Section B and C of our agenda, which include general comments and public hearings, will be heard together as one item. Again, even though we have several hearings, each commenter will be provided 2 minutes per agenda item that you plan to speak to. If you have comments on the hearing, on any of the hearing items tonight, please feel free, if you have comments that you'd like to make on any of the items tonight that you don't want to make online, then you can provide those to P.O. Box 145476, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84114-5476. You can also email us at council.comments@slcgov.com, or you can call our 24-hour comment line, which is 801-535-7654. All of the comments that have been submitted previously have already been reviewed by City Council members, And we will also post any any correspondence that we receive on the City Council website. All of that information will be made part of the public record. I want to take a minute to explain our electronic process. Our meeting will identify the callers in order that they have arrived via WebEx. Our meeting host, Cindy Lou. She will state the name of the first person to comment, followed by the next commenter, who can then prepare to make their remarks. When the meeting host unmutes your line and lets you know that it's your turn, please state your name, indicate the topic that you would like to speak on, and then the 2 minutes will begin. At the 2-minute mark, your microphone will be muted. If you are speaking on multiple topics, the meeting host will indicate that you may begin your next comment. Now, I will first read the public hearings for the evening and then open the comments for all individuals who have signed in via WebEx, including anyone who has a general comment not related to a specific hearing under item B1 through B2. Item B1 is a continued hearing, a resolution that would update and approve the timeline for the city's 2020 and 2024 consolidated plan as required by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. The consolidation plan details the city's goals and objectives to build healthy and sustainable communities through federal grants, the Community Development Block Grants Program, or CDBG, the Emergency Solutions Grants, or ESG, the Home Improvement Partnerships and Housing Opportunity for Persons with AIDS, or HOPLA. Items B2 through B6 include grant applications that will be heard as one public hearing, and they are as follows. A grant application request that would fund the salary and benefits of 10 new police officer positions. An application request that would fund the salary and benefits for 1 full-time victim advocate position at the YWCA of Utah. A grant application request that would fund 8 battery-powered ventilation fans to replace old gas-powered fans for the Salt Lake City Fire Department. A grant application that would be used to construct a 1,000 square foot outdoor classroom at the Sorensen Unity Center. And finally, a grant application that would fund the salary and benefits of 3 new part-time gang outreach advocate positions to assist with the Promising Youth Project, a gang intervention and prevention program. Cindy Lou, would you please start us with our first meeting, or our first commenter?
Thank you, Council Chair. We have a constituent by the name of Edwin Stafford who has registered to speak on a few items. I'll go ahead and unmute your microphone, Edwin, and once you've stated your name and the topic you're choosing to speak on first, I'll start your timer.
Thank you for the for the sudden panic attack. I just logged in. Edwin Stafford. I live at 896 West Timber Creek Way, number 1506 in South Salt Lake. That is West Valley City is right across the street.
Thank you.
I was wanting to speak on the food pantry and also the generalities of what is going on right now.
Edwin, I'll start your time for the food pantry comment.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I am on disability. I am currently trying to go to school. My food stamp budget has been halved by the powers that be. And I'm wondering about that project. I'm still trying to get situated in Utah. I still have boxes that I haven't unpacked, and I'm needing a lot more help than what I'm seeing. And I was wondering about that. This is my first council meeting, of course. Shoot.
So we, just for your information, you said this is your first council meeting. We offer this public comment period for you to make comments to us. We don't, we're not able to respond as a group to your comments. So you can give us your feedback and we can direct you to different resources, but we don't, it's not a dialogue format.
Okay. Mea culpa.
No problem.
And then as far as the current events, I'm very disturbed by recent goings on. In Roy, where I just came from, somebody stuffed 63 bottles of, or not 63 bottles, 63 packages of rope in a food pantry donation, writing an anti-marijuana manifesto with a couple of kids. I was reading today in Kearns, a 11-year-old boy was held at gunpoint for egging someone's house. And of course, 2 days ago, there was the rally, we need to, my right to get my hair done trumps your right to not die in a hospital bed. And I am extremely disturbed that these happened, that these are even acceptable in a society, and things need to be dealt with. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. What was the name again?
The name?
Yes.
Edwin Stafford. Stafford.
Thank you, Mr. Stafford. We do have staff available that can help follow up on your questions if you are looking for more information or resources on food stability. And we can also send you some more information about the mayor's continued emergency proclamation. So, Cindy Lou, do you want to, do we have Mr. Stafford's contact information so that we can get him those resources?
I do have that in the registration he completed for the meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you. Do we have other commenters?
That was your commenter for tonight
Oh, great.
at this point in time. And I apologize, he was speaking in regards to the public hearing for the grant and not the CDBG or the
Right.
consolidated plan. Thank you.
Right, yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so we don't have any other commenters for tonight, so we'll go ahead and move on through our agenda. I'll now look for a motion for item B1 regarding a resolution that would update and approve the timeline for the city's 2020-2024 consolidated plan as required by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The consolidated plan details the city's goals and objectives to build healthy and sustainable communities through 4 federal grants: Community Development Block Grants or CDBG, Emergency Solution Grants or ESG, Home Investment Partnerships, and Housing Opportunities for People with AIDS or HOPWA. Just looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Councilmember Fowler.
I move that the council close the public hearing and refer the item to a future date for action.
Second.
Oh, sorry, it sounded like Councilmember Dugan.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a motion by Councilmember Fowler and a second by Councilmember Dugan. Is there any discussion to this motion? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and roll call the vote. Councilmember Rogers.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros.
Yes.
Councilmember Mono.
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fowler,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. That passes unanimously. Next, I'll look for a motion combining the 5 grant applications, which was items B2 through B6, into one motion. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Councilmember Fowler.
I'm trying to read the motions sheet, which is why I'm so very close to the camera on my computer. I move that we grant comment after the public council meeting. I move that the council close the public hearing and hold item B2 pending a briefing during a future city council work session and refer items B3 through B6 to a future consent agenda for action.
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Fowler and a second from Councilmember Valdemoros. Is there any discussion to this motion? Seeing none, I will go ahead and roll call it for a vote. Councilmember Rogers,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros,
Yes.
Councilmember Mono,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fowler,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. That passes unanimously. We will now move on to pull through these. C, which is the comment section of our agenda. We've already addressed item C1, which was general comments to the council. That brings us to item C2, which is questions to the mayor from the city council. Council members, are there any questions for the mayor? Mayor Mendenhall, thank you for being here. I had a clarifying question. On the proclamation that you issued, the change from Salt Lake County was that people can now go into restaurants and order in person, but they can't dine in. Can they do that in Salt Lake City under your proclamation, or are they still needing to order food like curbside or pre-order and pick it up outside the establishment?
We have not issued a subsequent proclamation to the county's Friday order. And
Okay.
our most recent proclamation, Katie, please correct me if I'm wrong, refers to the county's public health order. So I think that their change is what is currently the rule for Salt Lake City. Also
Okay.
mention that I've heard from quite a few restaurant owners in Salt Lake City who aren't comfortable with that and are not going to be opening their doors for people to come in.
Mhm.
So that's the current status in the city.
Okay, great. Thank you. I wasn't sure if there was something else that prevented that. So thank you for clarifying.
I don't think so.
Okay. Any other questions to the mayor? If you recall, she requested more questions, or she. So, how's the temperature over in your yard? Is it feeling nice out there?
The mosquitoes are coming out, and I just sat through your epic council meeting with no breaks. It reminded me of Council Chair Charlie Luke.
Yeah.
Had meetings like that.
I know. I even gave a Charlie Luke speech, so it was a very Luke-esque meeting. Councilmember Dugan.
Mayor Mendenhall, do you have a hula hoop?
I do.
Okay.
What makes you ask, council member?
My wife just bought one, and I thought you might be able to entertain us tonight with your hula hooping.
Maybe I do that for a fundraiser, but I'm not going to do that for just a general meeting here.
Okay. No, this is a public place, so I'll stop there.
I thought Dan, you were gonna ask to borrow it. Okay.
Could I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Councilmember Johnston.
'Cause I'm a serious man. We talked earlier about the Station Center area and the height petition for increasing the height over there. And we've talked for a while back, a few weeks now about the planning department and how do we free up resources to do a more comprehensive study of the city? Is that in your thoughts right now and in your budgeting? I know things have been kind of thrown into flux with the COVID virus stuff.
Yeah, it's not a change you're going to see in the budget at this point, and I know that we've been working between our ends of the hall on hopefully teeing up a mid-year budget. You know, if things start to move again in our economy the way that they were, so it perhaps is something you'll see. But our planning department is working on a proposal that will be coming to the council, and I don't know the timeline right off the top of my head, and I don't think planning quite has a sense of it yet either, but around looking at making some changes to uh, a piece of the process that has sort of mushroomed much bigger than I think it was originally intended, and now consumes a great deal of planning staff resources. So you're going to be seeing a proposal that would need council approval that isn't budget related, but that'll be coming in the next probably 60 days, I would assume. Don't hold me to that.
Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that too, Councilmember Johnston.
I know you are. Appreciate your willingness to look at it.
Okay. Any other questions? Our questioning is up 400% from the last meeting, so this is great.
So glad I stayed on for the last 6 hours. Thank you.
Worth it. Okay. We will now move on to item D, potential action items. Item D1 is regarding a resolution adopting the mayor's funding recommendations and appropriations resolution adopting the one-year annual plan that includes community development block grants, funding, home investment partnership funding, ESG funding, and HOPWell funding for the fiscal year 2020 to 2021, and approving an interlocal cooperation agreement between Salt Lake City and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. I will look for a motion.
Mr. Chair, my
Yes.
understanding is this item would be adopted on May 5th based on the briefing earlier today. So you could pull this item.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ben. I didn't know if we needed to vote next time or if we could just pull it.
You can pull it.
Okay. I, as chair, use my authority to pull this item.
Yes,
It is hereby pulled.
We
Such
need to get you a
resolve.
gavel.
Yes. I know I don't have one. I have this banana pencil case. Ugh. Okay. Let's see, we have no new business or unfinished business. That brings us to the consent portion of the agenda, which is section G. This section of the agenda will be, and after this section of the agenda, we'll be changing our hats to the local building authority board hats. But first, let me ask for a motion on our consent agenda items G1 through G11.
Council Chair, really fast, I think there was a board member who you did not interview tonight
There
that
was.
you may want to consider pulling based on that you didn't have the opportunity to speak with him this evening.
Yes, thank you, Katie Lewis, City Attorney. Let me see which item that is. That's item number 4. So if someone on the council would like to make a motion to approve the consent items with the exception of G4, that would be appreciated.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of G4.
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Fowler. I have a second from Councilmember Johnston.
That was me.
Oh, Mono, from Councilmember Mono. Is there any discussion to this item? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and roll call it. Councilmember Rogers,
yes.
Councilmember Johnston,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros,
Yes.
Councilmember Mono,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
and Councilmember Fowler.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. That passes unanimously. Council members, we will now move on to change our or to our item as the local building authority. So we are now convening as that body, and let's see. I will look for a motion to set the dates of Tuesday, May 19th, 2020, and Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020 at 7 p.m. to accept public comment and consider approving a resolution adopting the final budget for the Capital Projects Fund of the Local Building Authority of Salt Lake City, Utah for fiscal year 2020 to 2021. Is there a motion for that?
So-
Council Chair, I'm
Oh.
sorry to interrupt really fast. This is Katie Lewis again. I think you may want to entertain a motion to adjourn as the city council and then convene as the local building authority.
Oh, I thought we could stop doing that.
Has that been your practice in the past? I'm sorry, maybe I'm jumping in. I don't know. if Cindy-
No, we didn't have to do that anymore, starting this year, but let's go ahead and adjourn. So
Oh, thank you. I'm just being too detail oriented. I apologize, Council
That's
Chair.
Council Chair,
yes, Councilmember Fowler.
would this adjournment allow me to go get my hat? My local Port Authority hat.
I was like, well, it was hard because I'm like, this is something that Amy would have, so I'm not sure. Okay, we are adjourned as the city council. We will now convene as the local building authority. Okay. We are now convened as the local building authority. And the only item on our agenda is setting the dates of Tuesday, May 19th, 2020 and Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020, both at 7 p.m. to accept public comment and consider approving a resolution adopting the final budget for the Capital Projects Fund of the Local Building Authority of Salt Lake City, Utah for fiscal year 2020-2021. I'll look for motion.
Mr. Chair, so moved, and I will have a hat by that day.
Excellent. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Fowler and a second from Councilmember Mono again.
Sure.
Councilmember Dugan?
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan. I will, is there any discussion to this item? Seeing none, I will roll call it. Councilmember Rogers.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros.
Yes.
Councilmember Mono.
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fowler.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. That passes unanimously. That is the only item on our local building authority agenda. So I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thanks, Chris.
Good night. Nice job, Chris.
Thanks. See y'all.